I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's going on, guys? I am your host, Adam Carr. Welcome back to Horribly Hollywood Single, some of the worst dating stories told by some of the best guests in Hollywood. Now, I know right now people aren't doing studio audiences, so I thought I'd populate mine own. This is Norbert. That's Poe. I picked him up in China last year. And that's Jojo. They're great. They're fun drinking buddies. I don't even drink anymore, but I'll just drink like regular soda water around them. They're fun. They don't talk too much. And they like to hear what I have to say, which in quarantine, when you live with someone, that's important. So today, I want to get going here. We have a very special guest. She's a combination of both beauty and hilarity. You've seen her grace the pages of Playboy, FHM, Maxim. She's been on True Blood, Modern Family, Reno 911. She's also the host of the podcast Millennial Tendencies. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Rachel Sterling.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. And you host Millennial Tendencies. For half a second, I thought I got that name wrong, and I literally felt like a piece of shit. So I didn't. I realized, so right before we did all this, my Wi-Fi went out. I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi. I'm a white guy in 2020. I couldn't tell you technologically how things work. I just know a switch. So I was supposed to read from a thing that I wrote. I wrote like a very careful bio, and then I kind of just went with it there. But you're such a gracious guest, so thank you for being here today.
You're welcome. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you great.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
So
you said it fine. You said it fine.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I would on my show. I call my producer my voice of reason, and I always make him do the name.
Oh yeah.
Even though they're usually people I know, for some reason I get very nervous about saying someone's name wrong, and I have no idea why.
Especially if you know them and it's the simplest thing. Like my fiance's name is Amy Smith, right? So simple, but I would just be going, our next guest is like I would just start I mess myself up, and then I go, stupid, you should have said it 10 times before the show began. So how's quarantine life for you? Have you noticed?
I love it.
Do you love it?
I love it.
Are you a homebody, like more introverted? Give me a little insight into your life.
So for me, I mean I do love doing stand-up. I canceled a lot of shows right as this was happening, so that sucked, but I was burning out. So I have stuff that I do during the day, and then obviously if you're going to practice, you're doing open mics. So and I'm very A-type personality, so I'm always doing stuff, and then you'd have your show. Totally. And then if you're trying to have a personal life as well, it just doesn't really work, and there aren't enough hours in the day. So all I kept saying was, I just need 2 months where I get, I don't have to worry about bills, and I can just create and write.
Boom.
Careful what you wish for, because now we're in it. We're all in it.
It feels like Shazam a little bit, that really failed Shaquille O'Neal Genie movie, where he comes out of the speaker system. Do you remember this from the 90s? It was when Shaq was trying to be an actor. But I feel like it's that, because anything you'd ask for, you got 2 months, but you also got a pandemic and a lot of people are going to die. That's not quite what I wished for, but you got it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand that, I have Rachel problems. I always have to remind myself that even, I had to remind a lot of other people that even at our worst, oh shit, what's happening right now? I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. We still have it better than literally more than half the world.
Oh yeah.
Without a pandemic. So once we start putting things into perspective like that, it gets a little bit easier. Also, I was a little irritated in the beginning where I think it's just maybe the younger generation just isn't they haven't had actual real shit go down yet. So they're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Whereas a little bit older, my grandmother, we weren't allowed to say I was bored or complain about much because she lived through World War II. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then she'll tell you some horrible story about somebody that she knows that, died or this or that, or has one eye, or that's how they fell off, they broke their head on the chair. It's always something. So it's like I didn't get to do that as growing up. And also I grew up in chaos because my mom's a little special.
Yeah.
So I'm programmed. Like the printer doesn't work, downloading this Zoom app. Oh my gosh, I wanted to rip my face off. Meteor falls down, aliens come out, I'm your girl. I'm totally calm and collective about it. So this is just kind of like, for me, I don't really go out of the house unless I really need to anyway, because I already had my time out, being a social butterfly.
Yeah.
And now I really appreciate, um, growing into being comfortable going, no, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to go to that. I will say no right to your face. I will not even be mean nice about it. Like some people go, oh, I don't want to be mean. I'll be mean. Do you want to do this? Absolutely not.
Good for
Do
you.
you want to go to dinner? Do you want to go hiking? Do you want to do it? If it interferes with what I'm doing, no, that sounds like the seventh layer of hell. Don't want to do that. I do
Right.
not want to go to your cat's quinceanera. I do not.
What's funny too is I feel like men are much more predisposed and preconditioned to just be like, oh yeah, of course, do whatever you want. But whereas with women, you're kind of taught, no, you should be a bit more agreeable. Don't rock the boat. Kind of do whatever. Like, do you feel that double standard
Oh
quite
yeah,
often?
I think women. Well, I'm also from Texas, so
My
um,
fiance is from Texas. Where'd you
we're
grow up?
nice to your face. But
I grew up in
so yeah, we are brainwashed at a very young age to be polite
hmm
and to be nice and to just kind of go with it. You'll find that your show is about dating. You'll find that even with dating, I think that's why. Um, I really love that there's um, young girls now, or where they're like, no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to say yes to save that person's feelings. If you don't feel comfortable, walk away. So when I was growing up, it was very like you didn't want people not like you. So you want to be liked. And I think it's a human thing. So you would just kind of excuse a lot of weird behavior. Somebody says, or even in Hollywood, somebody says something weird to you and you're just like, you laugh. And why do we laugh? Because we don't know what to do. We
right.
don't know what else to do.
Hi, hold on one sec. I think we lost your audio real quick here, Rachel. I think we're gonna try to make sure we have your audio working. Hold on one sec. It's okay, guys. This is live. Oh, sure.
Your face, Adam, was awesome.
Here we go. Here we go. Audio's back. Cut
Oh,
about
I forgot where I was
10
going.
seconds ago. Something about when it's awkward and you laugh at something.
Oh yeah, a lot of times men, boys, or men that do not have a lot of, in my experience, young men in their 20s, 30s that haven't been shot down enough yet, where their
Hmm.
ego is a bit high, they don't understand when you're making me uncomfortable, dude. Like I'm laughing and I'm going, uh-huh, okay, or LOL. We do that because we've been brainwashed to save your little feelings.
Yeah.
So we as women need to stop doing that shit and go like, no, don't want to do it. No, don't like you, not attracted to you. It's Why not? You know what I mean? Because clearly women, like, we'll kind of like, we're just more intuitive about things and we overthink like it's a Olympic sport. But men really need, I mean, they're very simple creatures. You need to just yes, no, yes, no. That's it. If you do maybe means yes. So where they get very confused by that. So if you can't giggle about something, but like you're creeping me out. And unfortunately, we're taught to like make it better. So we nervous giggle, or we don't want to burn a bridge kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Like,
So
especially in
we
this
play
business,
the
that's pretty
game,
prevalent. Yeah.
and that it's going to be a while before that behavior in Hollywood with like the Me Too situations. Confusing because it's learned behavior.
They say that dogs, the reason they do that, like, for instance, if you were out in the woods and you got like a really bad cut and there
Please
wasn't
don't say it.
alcohol around, but you had a dog, I would tell your dog to lick the wound because it's supposed to clean it. They clean it like 10 times better First off, our
Wow.
mouths are disgusting. I mean, it's pretty true. I'm not a doctor, but
Gosh, okay, just so you
I
know.
just it's not gash. It's not anything bad. I was just saying, like, I would want to survive, walk, trek. I don't know. I'm just saying I would do it for you. Start off with a little bad date here.
Okay.
This is a story from the Single Society, written by the lovely Nikki Nelson. So this is just a bad date here. I'm gonna read and then let's discuss. Okay, this is the story of my worst dating fail. I met Reed, like the monosyllabic name, at a mutual friend's house party. After many failed dating attempts via the apps, I thought meeting someone in the wild would be a refreshing change. Are most of the guys you meet when you've dated, gotten married, has it been all through friends, or do you go on Raya? Do you go on any of the apps, or
You need a referral.
you need a referral? Okay,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
you're you're
Yes, I
hardcore.
need like I need a 5-person referral
You
before I
have
can
like
even.
a okay,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
meet. There's like an
Yeah.
interview.
I mean, I've definitely like I've I downloaded one dating app because my friends were like, "You need to join the rest of the world." But I literally just look through it and look at all the guys I've already dated and make sure that I never talk to them again. So
So just in case for any of my listeners out there who are predominantly male and probably fans of yours and probably
yeah,
never have a snowball's chance in hell of dating you, but if
no.
they ever were, what dating app should they download if they ever wanted to maybe see you
I'm
some
on Raya just because
guys, you gotta
the
get on
whole
right.
world seems to be on. I don't want to be that
Oh,
accessible,
yeah, no problem.
but people for some reason seem to think that Instagram is a dating app, and I don't know
Oh,
why. I don't know why.
it's
I
funny
don't
because
know
I
why.
first messaged you on there about the show and I was like, she probably gets like 100 different messages from creepy
Very
dudes.
rarely do I look through things. It's usually,
I'm like,
honestly, I'm sick, I'm bored, I'm waiting for something, or I'm on the toilet. Those are the like you happen
those
to be
are
one of those. I was doing one of those things. I was like, oh hey,
sick, bored, on the toilet. Those are all titles I'm looking at for a possible
yeah,
biography one day. So
yeah,
thank you for
yeah.
bringing those up. Okay, so got it. So she said, wanted to meet this guy, Reed, right? Okay. Ended up being the most awful first date I ever had. Reed was a rather statuesque personal injury attorney who was exquisitely dressed to perfection. He just so happened to work in the building directly adjacent to my office on the outskirts of downtown, so we decided to meet for an after-work cocktail on a Tuesday evening. Since Reed drove to work while I opted for public transportation, he picked me up and we headed for an upscale burger joint. Would you allow a guy to pick you up on the first date if you were going out?
If I didn't know him, no.
Okay.
No, I would just take. I mean, I've had guys like, "Oh, I'll pick you up." Like, no, I'll just meet you. I have zero
Okay.
problem driving.
Yeah.
Mostly also because I very rarely will drink.
Oh, gotcha.
So kind of like unless I know the person, like, oh, I trust you enough, I'll actually drink around you.
Yeah.
Then public transportation. Define that for me.
I think she's just thinking like Uber or Lyft. I don't know if she's thinking the bus. They're in New York, so I mean, they're probably taking the subway,
Huh. That's
different
such a
stuff.
whole nother
I know. I
world
mean,
for me. Okay.
here we
If I have
always
to get on fucking public transportation, honey, no.
know.
No.
Here we have to think about the logistics of meeting up. I feel like in New York, this is way easier.
I won't even date past the 4 or 5.
There you go.
If I have to go past the Polvada, it ain't happening. No. Sorry.
All those years I lived in Encino.
I know.
Um, let's see. I opted for public transportation. He picked me up and we headed for an upscale burger joint, or so I thought, closer to the city center. We took an exit off the highway and Reed pulled into a strip mall in front of a jewelry store. This already sounds like fun. I just want to make a quick stop and check something out. Would be nice to get a woman's opinion, he said. Okay. We entered the store, and after being greeted by a salesperson, Reed told her he had been to the store in the weeks prior and was looking at the, is it Breitling? Breitling? You can tell I don't know anything about good, nice watches. Navimeter or whatever the fuck watch, and wanted to take another look. All right, ever heard of Google? The woman fetched the requested watch and Reed placed it on his wrist while obviously flashing the near 10K price tag in my face. Peacocking had never been so blatantly ostentatious. I've been kicking around the idea of buying this. I bought something similar a month ago, but was thinking about treating myself again. Can never have too many watches, right? Sure, Reed. Fluff your feathers. Okay, he told the salesperson as he slipped the lavish timepiece off his hand. I'm still going to think about it, but 10K isn't a bad price. We got back in the car and headed for our originally intended destination. Reed and I settled into a booth and began chatting about law school as I was currently working as a paralegal and about to begin my first semester of law school, one which my company often funds for its employees. Well, that's nice. I told Reed which school I would be attending, sans student loan debt, and he was not shy about negging me with his ignorant opinions. Oh, no, you're going there? Ugh. You don't want to do that. You won't make much at all coming out. 150K tops, he said. Not much? Well, I only made like 200K coming out. That was okay for me being in my 20s, but you're almost 30, right? I'm 27. Not that it fucking matters. Reed then went on an obnoxious tangent about how he thought it was pointless for me to go to law school at my age because it would be so much wiser to focus on finding a husband that makes plenty of money because I would have to soon start having to make babies before it was too late. And if I chose not to reproduce, my entire existence is essentially pointless. What a great guy. Oh my God, does he have a sister? Finally, the dreadful, not to mention disgustingly misogynistic evening was coming to an end, and Reed paid the bill. Well, that's nice. At least I got a free burger out of all this, considering I would be completely impoverished after becoming an attorney. And we headed for the parking lot. Ah, this is fun. Reed brushed his hand down, interlacing fingers with mine. Ah, going for the 1-2 touch, right? We see it. Eye contact, hands. Let them do the talking. You're not a fan, I can tell. I submitted to this display of affection mostly because I figured it would make the 7-minute car ride to the train station slightly less awkward. As we walked to the car, Reed inquired about my plans for the following weekend, presumptuously assuming I would be partial to a second date. This I could not submit to. Honestly, we had a great time, but I feel like I get more of a friend vibe, so I don't want to waste your time, I said. Reed's hand released mine as rejection dramatically shifted his demeanor. Oh, good. I actually wasn't interested either, but we had mutual friends and I didn't want it to be weird, he said. Like, what does that even mean? He gave me an
Very
awkward
weird.
wave goodbye, and it was clear that I was on my own as far as getting to the train station. But what a dick. He didn't even give her to a ride to the train station. What do you think was going to happen? I really want to know what guys think. Do they just think like a blowjob is going to happen outside of a restaurant that you just were, and that if that doesn't happen, then suddenly they're not going to do anything? What a classy guy. Reed got into his silver Infinity. All right, well, yeah, he should have paid for dinner. And drove off into the night, leaving me in a dark and empty parking lot to wait for an Uber. Dear God, she could have died.
Okay, well, at least it was an Uber.
At least there's an Uber. Several days later, I heard from our mutual friend she barely knows, doesn't really like him. Reed told her he found my company rather boring. And the only reason he asked me out in the first place was that I had sought career advice from him. And he was only graciously obliging as a favor for a struggling paralegal. Yeah, that's it. So, Reed's a dick. I'm curious because you're someone who's like got a public persona, public face out there. Do you constantly have guys wanting to date you, take you out, who treat you as like a public social entity and just could give two shits about you or just completely put you down the whole time?
Mm.
What do you
Well,
feel like?
first, let's talk about this date. I have
Yeah.
notes.
Sorry. I'm very ADD. Let's go with that first.
So one, she took an Uber to the train station. So if you're taking public transportation, I do not take public transportation. I have a car. In LA, we're always in our cars.
Sure.
That's why we're so weird about them. I God, if I lived in New York, I just wouldn't date, man. Like I would just not date ever. Because I don't like public transportation. I refuse. Um, but maybe he should have come around her area to where she could walk home or something like that.
Uh,
And then take an Uber home if it's only a few blocks, so it's not awkward. You don't have the awkward. Let me walk you home. So that would be my advice in that. $10,000 watch, and he's taking you to a burger joint. First of all, the only way a burger joint is acceptable is if you're like if you're going to go through the trouble of dressing all flash, don't
yeah.
take her to a burger joint. That's stupid.
Right.
Unless it's like a foodie place.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Some
It has to
some
come with
burger place
I
that's
know it's
like,
a no burger joint, but you've got to try it. Then maybe it doesn't really sound like he gave a shit that much. And then I mean, just this date is this why you need a car. If that was happening to me, if someone set me up on a date like that and it was going that bad, I
yeah.
would have just got up, left, got in my car. End of story.
At
Not
what
even a goodbye.
at what point would you have left?
Um,
I think as soon as he starts putting down what you do, right? Like if you were like, oh, I was a pussycat doll at one point, he was like, oh, great, pussycat dolls. So I'm just like,
yeah.
you just kind of be like, "Hey,
Um,
you want to shit on my job? Because I
I
do
mean,
not.
I haven't had that happen. I've had the opposite happen where they're too interested in it, and that all is a turn off as well because
Okay.
I didn't want to come here to talk about my work.
Yeah.
Um, I have a bad habit of see. Also, I also do stand up comedy, so that's something I have to really try to dial it back because I don't want to talk someone's ear off on a date, which the few dates that I've had recently where they went really well, the guy was really patient. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I talk a lot. I was like, what that mouth do? It talks a lot. So I just talk. And he was intrigued. So basically, it was like a show for one person, and he was digging it. Thank God.
Mhm.
But I mean, it could have gone really, really bad. I know every one of my ex-husbands said that I talk too much. And they were not a fan of my work. And so, so it could go. I mean, I don't really do I don't I had one guy neg me once. He was joking and he also is a comedian, which is why you shouldn't I've learned my lesson. I won't do it again. But uh he said I had a fupa. I didn't even know what that was.
Hoopa?
It's yes, I didn't know what it was. I had asked somebody, and then I was like, "That's rude." Um, and then I was really subconscious about it. I'm like, "Why would you say?" He's like, "I was just kidding. I was said it because obviously you don't." I'm like, "You have a weird way of flirting with women." We're actually really good friends now, but it was just an odd way to flirt with someone. And the only weird thing I could think of was that he's used to flirting with girls,
Okay.
not
Yeah. Shoot.
women. So that's if I were in my 20s, I would have totally be like, no, I'm gonna make you love me.
That's not
Eh,
true.
no,
That's not
look at my body. No, 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 no. I mean, I probably would have for sure. Because when I
yeah.
was in my 20s, I dated the singer from this group, and he had tattoos and jigger gauges, and he constantly I would catch him out. Mind you, I was dating him. I don't think he was dating me.
Mhm.
And all I did was try harder. He would go date some other girl, and I would cry about it, and then I'd try harder. I mean, I don't know what the crazy, but that's stuff that you only fall for when you're young,
True.
and then after a while, you're just like, "Kid rocks." So I don't know if this is a PG-13 show. I'll put my hands down. No, but
No, you can do whatever, please. It's
okay,
horribly Hollywood
I
single, not well
yeah,
adjusted,
okay,
feeling good
perfect.
about myself single.
Um, yeah, I don't fall for that stuff really too much anymore. If someone makes me feel lesser than,
Yeah.
I don't I recognize it. I do this, but see, I'm also not in my 20s, and I also I did so much work on myself that I really liked somebody, and it wasn't they weren't they're doing that thing like men do this thing where they like to waste your time. And I have
Mhm.
no idea why. It's a hobby. I, I don't know why you do it, especially like in quarantine. In quarantine, this is crazy. In quarantine, we can't see each other. We can't go near each other. But you're gonna go, and basically, I get these texts of like, I haven't talked to you in forever, and it's like they want they do I look like a 1-800 number? One
Uh,
nine seven six number? Is that what I look like? Because
is
I
it like at one
sure
AM
as shit
they
didn't.
text you? Like kinda drunk? Or is
No,
it just
it's not even drunk. They want to like start some like sexting thing. I'm like, oh, you need a girl that's 20 for that. I don't have time. I don't have time for that at all. Read a book, watch the porn now. You can do that. Leave me alone. That is not a
there's a lot
service
of
I
options.
provide.
There's virtual reality porn, there's so many
No,
things now.
there's so many things.
You don't have to bother real women
Like,
anymore.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, it's
Mhm.
not my jam. But they like to waste your time, and then they'll like put in a little bit of time. It's either one or the other. Either they want everything, they put in no time, and it's like you're a delivery service of vagina, or or
Delivery
they
service of vagina? I just wanna make sure I got
yeah, they just delivery or
mhm.
would you like some vagina?
Scrolling right
So or you have a journal too, or huh?
I write it in my journal during the show, and then I
Oh, okay, that's fine. I do
answer.
too. It's so
No,
funny. I do same. Um, or they do this thing where they have no intention of actually spending actual time with you, but
mhm.
they want all this attention via text or direct message or something like that. So
That's
it's
that
this
man boy
weird,
stuff. That's
That's I don't know what that is, but that I'm like, it's one of those things. Like I have like a 5 text limit.
oh,
I
ever
kind of
or
just
on a day?
no, just want to come unless it's like my dog is crying. Can you hear her?
No, is she
Okay,
okay?
good. She's just old and cranky. So much like me. It's more like a lost my train of thought 'cause my dog's crying. Uh, they want all this time. So Bree, you're gonna have to edit that shit out. I'm stuttering. They want all this time from you where it's like text, okay, okay, and it's like there's some funny banter, but when it's not
Mhm.
banter, it's just turned into or it's 15 minutes later. Like I don't know what. Okay, let's presume y'all are sitting there like sexting, okay? Which I mean I don't. Guys, do you know what we have to do to like masturbate? Like you can't have a phone in your hand and think and spell check at the same time. What if you can do that? You are a Jedi master. So there's this going on, and then it's like 5 minute, 20 minute. I'm like, oh my god. Well, okay, the moment has passed where I would entertain playing with you on the phone here, and now I'm just bored at this point. So, or they go, oh, but you always think it's gonna end up in like, let's go out. Let's physically actually make a date and go out.
Mhm.
Like let's do this, and it never happens. I don't know why people like to do. I hear that girls do that a lot. I hear girls do that.
It
I'm
can,
obviously
yeah,
not dating girls right
that
now, but
happens more even with you. A guy can't plan a date to go out? Is that what you honestly find or have found in the past?
I think they're scary. um, well, I'm always busy too.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, I
always,
mean,
I
most
mean, I am
people
legitimately
work. Yeah,
busy all the time. Now I think it's funny now because they go, "What are you doing all day?" I'm like, "Well, I'm a creative person, so it's a 24-hour process.
yeah.
So I wish it was this montage of like, I'm writing now, but that's not. Yeah, I'm sure you get that. People, oh, you're writing. Well, how long does it take to write? Would you write a paragraph? Did you write a page? I'm like, sometimes it takes 3 days to write a pair of sentence. Okay, just
Yeah,
back
really.
off.
You don't know. There's no
Sometimes I have to watch this, eat a
rules.
tortilla, stand on my head, and fix my makeup, and then like, oh, then the spirit moves you, and that's just how it goes.
Totally.
Or yeah, or I just really like being alone too.
You like being alone. Good for you.
Yeah, I've been on dates where I praise how much I love living alone and being alone, and how I don't ever want to get married again. And like, oh, you heard that though, didn't you?
I heard that. Was that a ghost moving a chair?
That was my.
You
Oh,
okay?
she's pissed. She's
That's
angry. Hold on.
taking
Can
away
I
some
get
stuff.
out and get her?
Yeah. Do you want to get her?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm her bitch.
Got
So
it.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Zoe, you're naughty.
By the way,
Stop
ladies and
that.
gentlemen, as Rachel Sterling
Oh
goes
my.
to get her dog, I just want to say
Right
we do
now.
have mugs
This is
now
naughtiness.
and where is
Naughtiness.
it?
Back off.
T-shirts. I'm going to be sending some to my
Oh
parents,
my.
who I believe in July, around July 4th, I'll be having my parents guest
So
on. Here we go. Rachel's back, but just email me for details.
what?
Oh, I was just doing a kind of like an infomercial thing for some of my products now that I have while you
You have
interrogate.
merch?
I have some merch. I have a mug. I got a shirt. I have some stuff, but
You should put the merch on the wall,
oh, you're right. I
like a
should.
little tack thing. Like not on your wall, like get something else to tack it to.
Oh yeah, I'll have like a little thing that I just move in, like a clothes rack.
You're so
Show me the dog. What kind of dog do you
I
have?
can't. She's full of spaghetti.
Oh, sweet girl.
She's full of spaghetti, and she's blind. She has no teeth, and
Oh,
she's at this thing now where I have to. What do you want from me? What? What could you possibly want? You have everything. This is why I don't have children. What more can you want
what do
from
you
me?
want?
What do you
So,
want?
we dealt with a bad date in New York there. You offered some great advice. You talked about what you're not willing to put up with. You're talking about what you expect from a guy. Why don't you give
Silence. I
our
expect silence from a guy.
shut the hell up?
Just be quiet.
So give us some. I would love some insight here. Give me like maybe like the last time you went out on a bad date, or you've been married. I think you said 3 times you've been
So
married.
many times.
You can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but here I'm not a medical professional. I can't necessarily help you, but I've been through a lot, and we'd like to offer any advice, or just feel free to get it out of your system. There's a pandemic. Let it spew.
Pandemic. Okay. So bad date. I went on a date with someone who's gorgeous. Oh, that's my problem too, is I'm very shallow.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you're honest.
Extremely shallow.
You're shallow.
Um
You're open about it.
admitting you have a problem is the beginning of helping that, but I'm incredibly shallow. So I went on a date with this guy and he was gorgeous until he started talking.
Ooh.
And then he was talking about a man men I'm sure men are like they like to make little thirst traps on Instagram as well, and they like to look at their numbers. And I'm sure for like Insta girls, I'm sure there's like the boy version of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But don't say it out loud because it's just
So he
weird.
said I like making thirst traps. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, like no, he was talking about his clout as
Oh,
like it was a credit score, and I'm like, what is
oh,
what? I didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and it's like clout. I'm like, there's like an app you can check your clout. I'm like, will it get me into a new car? Like, why do I care what my clout is? I don't care. Well, it's because you get my no, no, no. The reason you get endorsement deals is because you have a PR person.
that's it.
That's how it works in my world. So
Mm.
anytime I've ever had anything like that, there's a person, he gets a sum every month. It's a retainer. And they go, do you want to do this? Do you want to not do this? I go, yes, no. And that's how it works. I've never like I need to post pictures of my in the bathroom. No, it's not. That's just because I'm sick in the head and I need constant validation. So uh,
There we go. Boom, boom. Yeah. So the guy's talking about clout. I think we froze here a little bit. We'll be okay. Oops.
um oh, frozen
There we
again.
go. Sorry.
So
We'll edit that up. So, all right. So the guy's talking to you about an app that has clout, and he's
yeah,
talking
he was way too into himself, and I just never called him back again, like ever. I was like, I did the polite thing. I didn't get up and leave because I liked him. I just didn't like. There's just certain, and then he'd win me back with something, but then there was just that one narcissistic quality
Mhm.
that I just was like, oh, well, like if I wanted to date a really pretty girl, I'd just go date a really pretty girl. Like I, you know what I mean? At least I could tune her out. Like you're a bit aggressive and tall. So there's that. I don't know how people are gonna date in the pandemic. Like I was really weirded out by people in general. You also have to think that most of the time I get asked out on by people that I do stand up shows with, which
Yeah.
I've made it a rule is to not date people I do stand up shows with because it's just
Yeah.
a good rule of thumb in general. Um, because it's like school. I don't know. Like you get if you're gonna do one, everyone gets one. You either
Yeah.
stick with it or you learn your lesson. Um, because they all know each other. It's weird. It's awkward. Most people are broke. No, uh, so yeah, I just don't do it. Which
Yeah.
but also like they're dirty.
Mm.
Like I was weirded out by the microphone anyway. I'm just like, oh my god, none of you have health care. It's just like, oh,
You know
you
what? I
know,
thought about that. Yeah, when we all come back, comedy clubs, the microphone, like that's something. That's something that would have to change, right? It's like a buffet with that microphone because everybody's going up there.
right. Well, you could do a few things. You could spray it
Hmm.
with out, if as long as if you're this far away from the microphone, here's my microphone, my
Right.
gorgeous gold Yeti.
Right.
So if you're this far away, it's just a mist. and that works. You could
That
do
works.
that and just, at least you're taken care of. Or you could start bringing, I wonder what would happen if we all started just bringing foam covers.
Oh,
We could just bring your own phone cover or not, or you either are doing it or you're not. Bring your own mic.
bring
I
your
mean,
own
it could come to that, which is so weird. My
only
friend
in America.
Isabella Charlton, she's from her mom lives in China. She's British. Her mom lives in China. She went home. Uh, they're open back up for stand-up comedy. She lives in Hong Kong.
Wow.
So they had a show and she was in it, and they had this like shield
Like
up.
a shield.
It's a clear shield from here to
Oh,
here,
uh,
but not on the sides, she said, which was very awkward. So she's like, you guys are screwed. You guys are getting corona. I've lived in America.
oh
You guys
man.
are safe.
Did
So
you get
that could be it. There could also be you could just put some distance between the person performing. I mean, you just, but then that's awkward for it's just awkward because we've all done bar shows where there's 20 people, but they're spread out, so it's just not the same because people don't. They're like, I don't know, should I laugh? I don't, you know what I mean. It just
yeah.
it's we're herd mentality. So when we see it, I don't know what to do. Uh,
I know it's also nervous too if you know either the link sometimes doesn't work and then you have to do like the room ID and the password and but I will thank the makers of Zoom. Who would have thought? Did you ever hear of Zoom in January? No one knew what Zoom was.
no.
Things out. I feel like it's sometimes
Well,
just men and
I
women.
think part of the reason is because when you go on a date, you're not meeting the person. You're meeting
The best
their
version of it.
representative.
It
You're
doesn't. Yeah.
meeting, and they think that's actually real. Um, I do a lot. So,
Mhm.
and then when they get like someone that has their shit together, they don't know what to do with it. That's been my experience. Not that I totally have all my shit together, but I have my shit together enough to where I won't tolerate someone.
Like 20 through 26 is for.
Yeah, but we live in LA. I mean,
I know where it's like
30 is the new 19.
yeah, 45 year
So,
olds are acting like they're still in college. So that's
hey, I'm just kidding.
still
I'm not 45, but
you're not 45.
I will be someday.
Jeez. All right. Well, thank you for your insight. Thank you for talking
Did I
about
give insight? I feel like I was just babbling.
insight. No, you talked about sexting, you talked about male thirst traps, you talked about, comedy shows in Hong Kong, how they're all doing, what we could maybe be
Yes.
looking forward to. I feel like we're all in for a plexiglass future. I'd
Yes.
like to bring you to the next segment, our red flags of today.
Oh,
What I'm going to do is I will read 3 red flags to Rachel,
okay.
red flags in a relationship. And then, Rachel, I want you to pick the one that you could not deal with in quarantine. For you,
Oh,
fuck it, can't do it. All right. Number 1, red flag, refers to their genitals as their no-no. Number 2, do you want to touch my no-no? I think is how every night would go. That's anyway. Number 2, dabbles in torture.
define torture.
Um, to hurt you but not kill you, which may or may not
Okay.
have sexual gratification involved.
Okay.
And 3, can only eat out of someone else's hand.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I guess.
necessarily have to be you. Maybe they're rich enough to afford an assistant who just holds things up and they eat.
I mean, I would. If I had. I mean, I never made my assistant do that. I should have. I used to make my assistant pretend to throw up in a barf bag because I didn't want people to sit next to me. Because sometimes I'd book an appearance and they had.
I'm writing this down.
Sometimes I had an appearance, and normally I obviously they book a decent seat for you. But sometimes if it's within California, you take Southwest. I hate Southwest. So I have to have the window. I get the window and I would make him get the aisle, and he would, don't make me do it. He would beg me not to make him do it. Just do it. I pay you money. Just do it. And you're like, so we'd have the middle aisle, and whenever somebody would come by, he'd grab that. He was getting sick. So like nobody would,
Oh
so the
my
person I didn't
God.
want to sit in the middle wouldn't sit in the middle,
Like
or
Chunk
hopefully
in the Goonies. I love it.
yeah, I was really
Jeez. Okay. So which one? You talked about eating out of the hand. Would it be so dabbles in torture, refers to their genitals as their no-no, and can only eat out of someone else's hand. Which one
Mm,
are you not dealing with in quarantine?
probably the torture, just because there's no clear definitive of what exactly it is.
Yeah, it could be a
And is
sight.
it done to me? Like, I don't know. Like, if you just go in
Yeah,
another room, it's done to me. No.
yeah. No, I know. You could have a possible, BTK on your hands. I don't know what's going on.
A what?
Um, what?
What does that mean?
BTK, bind, torture, kill. The famous murderer from the 80s.
Ah,
He's featured a lot in Mindhunter, the David Fincher Netflix
ah,
series.
okay.
Basically,
I have to watch that.
his crimes escalated, but he would go in, he'd tie people up, torture them, rape, and kill them.
Oh,
Like
wow.
the BTK killer, bind,
All
torture.
of it. Okay.
By the way, post Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there.
Happy Mother's Day to
Mother's
everyone.
Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Your mother.
Real quick, you've heard of the game Fuck, Marry, Kill. We have a different variation here at Horribly Hollywood Single. It's called Date, Dump, Divorce. Now, Rachel, you're a very
I'm good at all of those.
yeah, exactly. Date, Dump, Divorce. You've been on television and you're hot, so I thought I'd pick male counterparts that have been on television and are hot as well. Date, Dump, Divorce. You have John Stamos, Tom Selleck, and George Clooney. Three good-looking guys that have all been on television at one point or another. John Stamos, Tom Selleck, George Clooney. Who do you date? Who do you dump? And who do you divorce?
Is this in their prime or now? Because they're quite old now.
Whatever you want, Rachel. It's whenever
Okay,
you.
so I'm gonna go in prime. You would probably. I would dump George Clooney. I've never been attracted to George Clooney.
Never been attracted to George Clooney?
Never in my life.
I'm a straight man and I get it.
Yeah, no,
Never for you.
no.
Good for you.
I did have dinner with John Stamos once, and I was really excited because I was like, "My mom loves you," and he was like, "Why do girls say that?"
Oh, that's true.
Like, my mom would be so excited right now. He's very sweet. Maybe date him, and then obviously we'd marry Tom Selleck because he's Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck
Yeah.
rocks that stash. Then you have to divorce him.
Yes. Well, I mean, that
All
goes
right,
back.
divorce Tom Selleck.
Yes.
Awesome. That's you in a nutshell. All right. Well, as we draw to a close here, Rachel, I'd like to ask, what do you tell her?
Uh, Save your money.
Make money?
Save your money. I think that'd be it. It's not a fun answer at all, but that thing now, so it's even weirder. But
Yeah.
it's a great story, or I have perspective, or I just like, oh, I mean, yeah. So I mean, even just they all kind of go together.
Mhm.
So yeah, even
Save your money.
maybe don't do as much cocaine. That maybe that like you're gonna do it, but maybe just like not all of it. Like maybe
Right.
that would just
Give yourself a window.
yeah.
No wrinkles. Your face is flawless. You're aging quite well. So I don't know what your
Alright.
secret is, but
Souls. Oh, Instagram, it's Kitty Sterling. There's a story behind that, but we won't get into it. And then Millennial Tendencies is on Spotify, it's on Apple Pod, it's on SoundCloud, and I also have an app, so you can listen to all the episodes on the app as well.
I will say I downloaded your app last night. It's pretty damn cool. So good for you.
What
for
was your favorite part of the app?
I don't know. I just love the like news and events, like just like seeing you. It just felt like a real legitimate like thing. I like that I could just go to your Facebook or Instagram like from your app. I could look up like what shows you've been on. Like I could look up clips on YouTube. Like it was very nice. Plus just to have the app. Most people have a website, but you got an app, so you're legit.
Yeah, I had a website and I just couldn't do well, I'm very bad at uploading stuff to it. I'm the worst. So I couldn't do both because it just seems pointless. I'm like, what's the point of exclusive content if I'm putting it on a website as well? It kind of doesn't work that way. And then now there's somebody that bought my website but is trying to like pirate it back to me.
That's
So yeah, I was like, well, I feel like apps will be the thing in the future anyway.
yeah, maybe that's
So-
marriage number 4 coming up. Whoever's pirated your site and is being a douchebag.
Maybe.
That's
Then
the
I'd have to
ultimate
kill
maybe.
him.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
ultimate.
be a widow again.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. I want to thank Rachel for being on the show. You've been an absolutely wonderful guest. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your just anecdotal knowledge on everything. I think you're absolutely wonderful and hysterical. I think the video might have froze one more time. So if I need to talk again, I will.
Okay.
Here we go. We're still good.
Yeah.
I have one quote that I want to leave with you guys today. Dating is like searching in vain for a piece of the puzzle that you just can't find. Dating in LA, same thing, but the puzzle pieces are jagged pieces of glass that never fit together. My name is Adam Carr. This is Horribly Hollywood Single. Be sure to check us out on YouTube, Instagram, subscribe, like. Send us stories about your bad dates, stuff that we can read, stuff that you want to guest on the show. Just send me a message, Gmail, horriblyhollywoodsingle@gmail.com. My name is Adam Carr, reminding you, stay horrible, stay single. Hey, we don't judge. Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.